It was really, really good. It got me thinking a lot about my childhood and the things that fueled me, and also why I do what I do. And allowing that why to drive me. But after I thought about it, was it about my son? Yes. Was it about my wife? Yes. Was it about the way I grew up more than those things? Probably. And you need to, in order to achieve the things that you want to achieve in life, you have to have a why. Why are you doing what you're doing? And it may start off one way, but after you really think about it, you may find that something else is fueling you, something else is driving you. And I'm not saying fear is a good thing, but I feel like after I thought about it, I'm trying to run I'm trying to run from uh the things that I didn't like growing up. And the way I'm running from that is I understand what I didn't like, and I'm trying to do things differently than what I saw. Hey, 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 family. This is Che Willis coming back with another episode of Wealth is a Journey podcast. Guys, this is episode 44. We moving and shaking out here as always. But again, as always, before we start, I just like to thank everybody who has liked, who has shared, who has subscribed to this podcast. As you can see, if you're viewing us on YouTube, we are uh, trying a different platform to try to see what works better. Again, my goal for this podcast is to make sure that the experience for the listeners or the viewers is a good experience. So you'll come back and get more of this good information, and you'll walk on this wealth building journey with me. If you are new to this podcast, we talk about on this podcast faith, family, wealth building, budgeting, health, just again, all the things that's going to help you be a well rounded person while you are on this wealth building journey. Because, like, as anything, as you walk through anything, you'll start seeing that it's not just about the one thing, which is the wealth building. There's many different layers to uh, get you on this journey and to accomplish and achieve the different goals while you're on this journey. I was on a trip not too long ago, and I was hearing a lot of people talk about this movie, Maxine's Baby. And I watched it. I had some free time, some downtime. So I ended up watching it. And this movie was amazing. It was awesome, man. It was cool, just like the Kanye West documentary on Netflix. I really, really enjoy watching movies, watching documentaries that I can identify with. And I'm not saying I'm on the level of Kanye West or Tyler Perry yet, but what I'm saying is to watch people not believe in your vision, because it's your vision, and you continue to fight, claw, scratch to accomplish your goal. And once you accomplish your goal, then they say, "Oh, now I see the vision." So I'm not going to spoil the movie for anybody, but it is a true story of perseverance. I love watching movies, again, documentaries, even reading books that talk about people who started somewhere, maybe in a place of lack, maybe a place of poverty, a place of just wanting more, and they don't exactly know about how to achieve the goal, but they just know that they want more. And that is me in a nutshell. I always wanted more. I didn't know exactly how to go about it, but I knew again what didn't work based on what I saw. And I think that while I was watching the movie, it kind of got me thinking because Tyler Perry in the movie, and again, I'm not going to spoil the movie for anybody, but in this movie, it was a scene with him and his son, and he talked about how he was doing what he was doing for his son, and everybody has a different why. I get that. My why is different from your why is different from the next person's why, so forth and so on. But I believe that in order to achieve any type of or level of success, you have to have a why. Because there's going to be times when you don't feel like being on this journey. There's going to be times where the road is going to be rough. It's going to be tough. It's going to be difficult. You're going to face opposition from your loved ones. You're going to face opposition possibly from your friends telling you that your idea sounds dumb, or why are you doing whatever you're doing that sounds crazy to people. But you're going to have to hold on to your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? So Tyler Perry in the movie said that he was doing what he was doing for his son. And I thought to myself, like, yo, that's super admirable to do something for your son. And I thought to myself, well, I'm doing what I'm doing for my son as well. But then I started thinking to myself, am I really doing what I'm doing for my son? Or is what I'm doing for some other reason? And then I started getting to my introspective bag. And I started thinking to myself, again, back to my childhood and the things, events, people that I encountered, things that I saw growing up. And it got me thinking, and I'm going to try to articulate this the best I can. So please walk with me. A lot of times people will say that they're doing things for their kids. That's admirable again. But if you really think about when you were a kid, all you really wanted was to spend time with your dad, your mom, your family, whatever the case may be. So if you know that, then are you really doing what you're doing for your kid, or are you doing it for another reason? And in thinking about why I'm doing what I do for budgeting, um, to just build something, build wealth, things of that nature. I believe now that I'm like really sat and thought about it for a few minutes, cried a little bit during the movie, and I'm not soft. I felt like I was soft. I'm just be honest with you guys. I felt like I was soft in my older age. Every once in a while, I get a little misty eyed. I don't know exactly what that's about, but anyway, I got in my introspective bag and I started thinking to myself, you're doing, even though I am doing what I'm doing for my son, like that's a piece of it. It's not all of it. But I feel like after I thought about it, I was doing what I'm doing for the little Che, me as a kid. Um, I feel like the things that I experienced as a kid, and again, everything was not all bad, but again, you need something, again, a why that's going to drive you past your feelings when you don't feel like doing the thing. And I think it's budgeting is important for me because I was never taught, but I also know that if you don't know where your money's going, you will eventually run out of money, or you're going to have to continue to work forever because your money's just going everywhere, right? And I didn't grow up in a place of abundance. My surroundings, meaning my neighborhood, we were surrounded by love in my house, but we weren't necessarily surrounded by abundance, and that's a lot of people's story. But I had a conversation with my wife, man, a couple weeks ago, and I was telling her, like, I think I'm doing a lot of the things I'm doing for the little me. Like, a lot of the things that I didn't have, I'm now trying to provide for my son. And I think I'm trying to, um, again, I'm trying to articulate this the best that I can. So please just bear with me. I'm trying to provide the little me with a lot of the things that I didn't have. So, um, building an investment portfolio for to then pass down to my son because I didn't have that, right? Building up a real estate portfolio. I didn't necessarily have that, but I believe that that's going to be able to take care of myself now, also the little me, because it's going to provide income to give me the things that I didn't have when I was younger. But it's also going to be able to take care of my son when he's older. So it's taking care of two things. Also, I mentioned in episode, I think 5 or 6, when I was talking about my dad. My dad, he died from diabetes back in 2018. He drank, which is the reason, one of the main factors of him having diabetes. And the little me didn't like to see him intoxicated. So now I don't uh, get drunk because I remember the feeling of seeing my dad drunk. And he wasn't abusive or anything like that, but you see a shift in somebody's personality or their mannerisms and different things of that nature once they start drinking heavily. Then I also know the feeling of losing somebody prematurely. So I don't indulge in those things because I know how it made the little me feel. Hopefully that makes sense. Um, uh, Seeing my grandmother pass away, and she didn't pass away prematurely. She was older, um, but seeing the state that she was in and not being able to have again, the level of care that I felt like she deserved, and she that I would have liked to have seen. I'll just say that. I know that how that made me feel. So me building these things is actually helping taking care of me later. So again, my son doesn't have to experience those things. So hopefully what I'm saying makes sense. So a lot of the decisions, a lot of the things that I'm doing now is to protect the little me. How did certain events make me feel as a kid? Um, and I do the opposite. If I don't know exactly how to accomplish the thing, uh, I at least know how doing the thing that I didn't like made me feel. So I don't do that. What's going on, family? This is Che Willis from Wealth as a Journey podcast. I don't know if you guys know, but I help families who are living paycheck to paycheck live the life that they want to live through budgeting and investing. If this is you or you know somebody, go to wealthisajourney.com to book a free discovery call to see if we're a good fit to work with each other for either budgeting, or if you're a beginner investor, again, you can book a free discovery call to see if we're a good fit to work with each other. Again, wealthisajourney.com, wealthisajourney.com. Let's get back to the episode. So if I know how it made me feel, then I know how it's going to make my son feel. So I'm protecting the little me. And I feel like I'm, in a sense, running from those feelings when I was younger. So I'm doing a lot of the opposite of what I saw growing up. Now, is that right? I don't know. But I just remember a lot of the feelings that I had when I was younger. And I'm making different decisions based on those events. And I'm trying to do the opposite. Now, am I perfect at it? No. But the thing is, we all want different things, but I think we all end up repeating patterns that we saw growing up one way or the other. And I'm doing the best I can to make sure that I'm not repeating those patterns. Um, so if this is you, excuse me, if this is you and you don't have a why, think back to when you were a kid. Did you live in lack? Were you made fun of as a kid? Um, what different events happened to you that can possibly drive you to do great things in this world and build something to take care of the little you and also leave something to your family as well and build something for your family. Um, so people who know me know that I like when I go after something, I dive headfirst into it because I know also that time on this earth is very, very short. You know, uh, people that I grew up with are sick. Not everybody, but you know what I'm saying? Like there's people that I know that are older. I'm sorry, not older, that I grew up with are not doing well health wise, and life is fragile. We just came out of COVID-19, and a lot of people died, and we have to get to it because life is so short. And I understand that life is short. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to get to it as fast as I can, the best I can, to make sure that the little me is taken care of and my family is taken care of as well. So please, if you don't know, at least understand what you didn't like growing up and maybe try to do the opposite because it's going to do two different things for you, or a few different things actually, not just two. It's going to take care of the little you, and it's also going to fuel you to leave a legacy behind. Now, that may not be your end goal, but at the end of the day, if something is fueling you to push past your feelings of I don't feel like it, push past the feeling of analysis paralysis, procrastination, the things that kind of hold us back from living the life that we want to live, then at least allow that to fuel you to um, do better for yourself financially, or weight wise, or relationship wise, or parenting wise. The things that you did not like to see, do something different, because that's going to help you to get to another level in living. And again, leaving a legacy might not be your end goal, but at the very least, you can uh, have behaviors or do some different things than you saw growing up that's going to help you break that generational pattern that you saw growing up, because a lot of times your parents did what they did, or they parented you away because maybe that's the way they were parented. But the way to break the cycle of the generational patterns that we saw growing up, or that our parents passed down to them, is to do something different. So if, just for instance, if you didn't get a lot of hugs growing up and that affected you as a kid, maybe you can give your kids more hugs. Maybe if you saw a lot of fighting in your house, or you saw abuse or whatever, instead of repeating that pattern that you saw, do the opposite. Show a lot of love. Give people grace. Know that people are not perfect. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. So just giving people that grace. If you grew up poor, why did you grow up poor? I don't know. But the foundation of building wealth is knowing where your money's going. And if you're trying to build something, then you have to invest. So you at least should hopefully know the baseline of where, if you don't like where or how you grew up, you at least know the baseline of how to and to do something different. So this this movie was so awesome. It was really really good. It got me thinking a lot about my childhood and the things that fueled me, and also why I do what I do, and allowing that why to drive me. But after I thought about it, was it about my son? Yes. Was it about my wife? Yes. Was it about the way I grew up more than those things? Probably. And you need to, in order to achieve the things that you want to achieve in life, you have to have a why. Why are you doing what you're doing? And it may start off one way, but after you really think about it, you may find that something else is fueling you, something else is driving you. And I'm not saying fear is a good thing, but I feel like after I thought about it, I'm trying to run, I'm trying to run from uh the things that I didn't like growing up. And the way I'm running from that is I understand what I didn't like, and I'm trying to do things differently than what I saw. So I don't want this message to get lost, because it's still about um the wealth journey, because you have to know why, and you have to know what's driving you to get to that place where you're wealthy. And it doesn't have to necessarily be about money. It could just be about your way of life. You're comfortable. You're able to just get up and go when you want. You have your time and things of that nature. Like wealth means different things to different people. And I want all the things. I don't just want the money. I want the time. I want the money. I want the relationships. I want the love. I want the legacy. I want it all. And I'm doing my best to do it, and believe God that He has more for me. And it's being documented on His podcast every week. So hopefully this has helped somebody, and you can hopefully what I said, and I hopefully articulated the right way where you understand exactly where I was coming from. But it's time to get to it, guys. It's 2024. We're in a new year. What's going to fuel you? What's going to fuel you to push past your feelings to push past the procrastination, to push past the analysis paralysis, the uh, uh, worrying what others are going to think about you. Because what I've learned is that people are going to have, negative comments, or they're going to think one way or the other about you. Who cares? As long as the people in your house know what you're trying to do, and they're happy with you and they love you, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. So it's go time. It's go time, guys. So let's get to it. If you have any comments on what I said, um, feel free to share. Feedback is welcome. And again, hopefully this message made sense. Wealth is a journey. Let's go. We'll see you next week.